You could almost. Everybody up to the song, the song. Beautiful for spacious sky, forever ways of grain, for purple mountain majesties, above the fruited vine. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with from sea to shining sea. I pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of
America,
to the
and to
republic,
the republic for which it stands,
one nation,
one nation,
under God,
indivisible,
liberty and justice for all.
liberty and
Justice for all.
justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. I want to welcome everyone to Iowa City Union Rotary. What a great crowd we have today. This is wonderful to see everyone today. And I'd like to introduce Kelly Drown, who's going to introduce our visiting Rotarians and our guests. Please help me welcome Kelly.
All right, thank you. Wow, what a great crowd. So I will go ahead and have, if you have brought a guest, please come line up either on this side or this side, and I'll have you introduce yourself as well as the guest. Please state your name and then the guest that you have brought. I would like to welcome Mark Ruggeberg as our visiting Rotarian. Mark, where are you? There he is. All right. And with all of the excitement, did we miss any other visiting Rotarians? Jasmine, there you go. So Jasmine is one of our interns at UICA. And Jasmine, what Rotary are you a part of? Okay, the AM and the PM satellites. Okay, we also have another Rotarian, visiting Rotarian. Gary Wickland, yes. Thank you. All right. And with that, I will pass it to the next person. You might have to flip through. We have 3 pages of.
Well, I could just read everybody's name. Hi, I'm welcoming everybody today now. Hi, I'm Patty McCarthy. It is my tremendous pleasure to welcome Julia Winter, who is the Development Director at Community, has joined us many times in the past and today turned in her new member proposal form. So yay, Julia.
Thank you, Patty. My name is Ryan Bell, and I'm the president-elect of this club for another couple minutes. Good to see you all. I have so many guests today, I had to write them down. So I'm going to start with my guests on Zoom because they're near and dear to my heart. They are my parents from Southeast South Dakota. They couldn't quite make the drive because I'm actually turning around and going up there for the 4th of July this weekend. So didn't quite make sense, but hi, Mom and Dad, and thanks for Zooming in. And then with several other guests, some are familiar faces at this point. Alex Sindelar in the back there with Chris Peters is a guest. He works at Principal Financial. We've got, yeah, hold your applause because this is going to take a while. We've got Lisa. Lisa from ServPro is here. Tom is a new face that you guys haven't seen. I met him on Monday at a business partnership event. I'm always recruiting, folks. I'll lend to this later a little bit too, but Tom works for KZIA. Good dude. JJ is back. Where's JJ? He's been here a few times. He's Zoomed in with us. He's an entrepreneur starting his own business and looking to engage in the community. Timothy Q. Carty is back. He was here years ago when we were at the University Club. I've been begging and pleading for him to come back again and maybe join our club. I think we're getting close, folks. So if you can, kind of twist the dagger in his back and maybe he'll turn over. And then Mark Abel from Imon Communications. Joining us again, his application is in the hopper. So welcome back, Mark. That is it.
Thank you. I'm Sean McIntyre. My guest today is my personal assistant for the day, Preston. You can stand up or stay seated. You might be taller that way. He's going into, you stand up there. Yep. He's going into 6th grade at Heritage Christian School, and he loves to play baseball. So future Rotarian, definitely. Yep.
Hi, I'm Alyssa Brandt Jarrett with Brandt Heating and Air Conditioning, and I brought my colleague Darcy Rich with us, and she sells and heads our fireplace division. She's been with me before, and so we're really here to welcome and celebrate with Ryan and our Rotarian for the new year. So.
I see we had a special guest just sneak in. Gretchen, do you want to stand real quick? Gretchen Nolan Gretchen, you are Assistant District Governor. That's correct. And you're with the West Liberty Club. Yes. Yes. Welcome, Gretchen. Did we miss anyone today? Yes. Oh, yes. So Ryan does a wonderful job introducing guests, and I'm not gonna top you, Ryan, but I've got a good group here today. So I have Lori Murlock. Lori is the Associate Dean of Kirkwood's Iowa City campus. Welcome, Lori. I have Ashley Hopkins, the Annual Giving Manager for Burr Oak Land Trust. You want to stand up, Ashley, real quick? And then, thank you, yep. And then her colleague, Jason Taylor, Executive Director of the Burr Oak Land Trust. And then I invited Carol Bonsack. I don't know that Carol is right in front of me. Look at that. Carol's the executive officer of the Greater Iowa City Area Home Builders Association. Big name there. So welcome, Carol. And I have 3 very special guests today. I've been a member of our club for 14 years, and I finally got my wife to come. It took 14 years, but Angie, if you want to stand up real quick. Yes, Angie, yeah. So Angie is a mental health counselor at Kirkwood Community College. And my parents always told me when you grow up, the most important decision you'll make is picking a partner. And I feel blessed every day to wake up next to her. And I want to tell all you young guys, make sure you write that down because you'll need to say that sometime again in the future too. So jot that down. And then we have our 2 sons here. Jake, if you want to stand real quick. Jake is our 12-year-old. He wants to be an architect. So if Kevin Munson or any other architects are here, keep an eye on this guy. And Jake, if you want to smile real big, Jake just got braces about 2 hours ago. And for you guys with young kids, if you're not aware, braces are now $6,000. Even with the 25% medical discount, $4,500. So we are selling sponsorships. If you want your business name on his braces, we have room for him there. Just let us know. And then our youngest son, Zach, do you want to stand real quick? Zach is our 9-year-old. Zach, you want to turn and face? Yep. Zach is an interesting fellow. We asked him what he wants to be when he grows up. He's told us he wants to own a zoo. He wants to be an art teacher, a professional football player, a writer, an entrepreneur, and more. So keep an eye on him in the future. We'll see where he ends up. So yes, so welcome. Did we miss any guests or visiting Rotarians? So welcome everyone. This is such a great crowd to see. We actually ran out of food at the end. So working with Big Grove, we'll eventually get to the point where they kind of know us and we know them, and we'll up that number a little bit. But if you have an announcement, I'd like to invite you to come forward if you have a Rotary related announcement. And speaking of Big Grove, we want to thank the Highlander for hosting us for the last year. Big Grove will be our permanent location now. Just this Tuesday, we signed a 1-year contract. So we will be here at Big Grove every Thursday. So, yep. A reminder about our Rotary annual dues. Today is the last day to get your dues in. There's still about 30 of you we're yet to hear from. Madeline, do you want to wave if anyone has a check here? Get it to Madeline. Tonight, we have to submit our official roster to Rotary International. And if you're on the fence, we really want to get you over as a Rotarian and get you on that list. And a clarification on our guest lunches. We've been offering a free lunch for anyone who brings a potential Rotarian or a guest. We're limiting that just to a one time. We just don't want to go on extended forever. That member who shows up for a free lunch for 6 months and never joins. So if you bring a guest, the first lunch is on our club. So Linda Farkas.
Thank you, President Eric. First of all, thank you for this year. You are amazing, absolutely amazing. So what I would like to say is we had our World Affairs students. Now, for those who don't know, it's a leadership camp that's up in Waukesha, Wisconsin. Our club sends out of 150 that go in person, we sent 32 students. And I want to thank everybody who has helped with this. By next week, trying to get students organized with pictures is like herding a room full of cats. But we are getting some really good pictures. So by next week, we'll have pictures of these students. So thank you, everybody. I was on a call with the board, and we had one of our students represent us to come in and talk, and I was extremely proud. So I'm going to turn this over because we have someone who sent their daughter through the downtown club. Thank you, Mark. And I would like her to tell about her experience of her daughter.
Hi, so many of you heard me talk last year that my daughter Lorelai, who's going to be a senior this year at Washington High School in Cedar Rapids, we sent her to Ryla last year. And I read the statement that she put together for social media about the impact that Ryla had on her life and her ability to understand who she was, who she wants to be, and how she can interact within the world. She's a perfect example of how Ryla and World Affairs Seminar partner together to help really build these youth into our future leaders. She went to World Affairs this year. She, even with a little bit of a hiccup, she had a hip problem and ended up in a wheelchair, being pushed around in a wheelchair for most of the week. I think she actually liked that because she didn't have to walk. But when I went to pick her up, she was glowing again and was very excited. She'd met people from across the country, a couple of people internationally. She ranted and raved about the speakers, but what really brought it home for me was she said, "Mom, you know people, right?" And I said, "Okay, sure. Yeah, I know some people." And she said, "Okay, because there are some things that I know are wrong that I want to change. So I need you to put me in touch with those people so that I can start making a difference." And I thought, okay, let's do this. And she is just motivated to go out in the world and be the next leader, be one of the leaders that we have. And she has the heart and soul to do it. So World Affairs is one of those programs that just helps not just teach kids that there's opportunities, but shows them how. So thank you. And thank you, Mark, very much for allowing her to go.
Now I'd like to call Vern. Yep, Vern Folkman is right here. Look at that. Right behind me.
Thank you, Eric. President Eric, so far.
A few more minutes.
Yeah. I just wanted to tell you that you said the young fellows should be saying this. Now, we've been married 65 years, and I still say this to my wife, that it's the best way to wake up in the morning with you beside me. So keep that, young fellows, keep that in mind. It's a lot better than the divorce. And a lot cheaper. And I'll tell you one thing. It's not all roses. But there's a lot of roses. And there's a few thorns too.
We're getting a counseling session up here.
No, I just want to, Eric done such a wonderful job this year that I'm representing actually our district president today. And when we had the conference in Iowa City here just recently, she chose you to be outstanding president. And with that came a award for the Paul Harris Fellow +1, which means you're well started on your way to being a major donor in the future. So congratulations, Eric.
Thank you so much. All right, thank you. Our program today, I'm going to take a few minutes and I'm going to highlight all the great things that our club accomplished this past year. And then I'm going to be thanking several people. And then I'll turn it over to Ryan Bell, and Ryan will talk about his plans for the upcoming Rotary year. And if you don't know, our Rotary fiscal year is July 1 through June 30. So this is my last meeting and I'm still smiling, which is good. Someone joked to me beforehand, we can't say that with all our past presidents that they were smiling on their last meeting. So that's a positive, but this is going to be fast. I just want to broadly 30,000 foot overview of our club. And I'm going to recognize a lot of people. And when I recognize you, if you could just raise your hand. And when I talk about what this person does, if this appeals to you, something you want to get involved with, I encourage you to go talk to that person after the meeting. So starting off our Rotary year in review, our club turned 106 years old this year. The Iowa City Noon Rotary was chartered on December 1st of 1915. Great history. We continued our tradition of having great speakers each week. We welcomed 7 new members this year: Jim Rink, Russ Gannum, Missy Forbes, Jared Lyons, Bill Furlong, John Gabrielson, Pam Funky. And if you're here, one of the new members, you could raise. I see you there, Pam, and yep, Bill, a few others. So welcome. We also are excited to announce that we have 7 potential new members in the pipeline that have either recently been through Rotary orientation or are scheduled to go through orientation. So Ryan, a great start for your year. Looks like we're going to have 7 potential new members, and then we have a transfer member from the Cedar Rapids Club who's interested in joining us. We celebrated a life well lived for the passing of Rotarians Chuck Hess, Tim Terry, Eleanor McClellan, and Herb Wilson. We held, if you remember last fall, we held a World Polio Day event at the Ashton House. And every week in honor of our speaker, we donate to the Rotary Polio Plus program. And for the full year, we donated about $500 to support polio eradication. We did a Salvation Army bell ringing in December. Joe Hughes, you want to wave? I know you're here somewhere. Joe coordinated that. Thank you, Joe. We had a Rotary booth at the Rock the Chalk event in downtown Iowa City last August. We got a community service grant of $5,000 that our club matched with another $5,000, enabled us to plant 100 trees in the spring and 100 more in the fall. And I want to thank Ryan Bell and Brent Carsonson. They're pretty detailed grant application and follow-up report. So thank you guys for your diligence in getting that. Our Environmental Concerns Committee, I mentioned planting the trees, planning probably this fall another highway cleanup. And I want to thank Steve Schomburg for chairing that committee. Our Youth Leadership Committee, you heard a little bit about that a few minutes ago, but we send incoming high school juniors to a leadership conference, and we send incoming high school seniors to a World Affairs seminar up in Wisconsin. I want to thank Linda Farkas and her committee for leading that effort. The I Can Read Committee, I know LaDonna Wicklund is here. Thank you, LaDonna. Her committee, they distributed almost 1,000 copies of the I Can Read materials this past year, and that's both DVDs and activity books, a great project. Tara Minetos, I see in the center. The Rotarian Supporting Women Committee, they provided a scholarship to a female student getting her nursing degree at the University of Iowa, and they coordinated a supply drive for UAY's teen parent program. So thank you, Tara. The Rotary Kerber Heart Safe Community Campaign. This project came out of a district grant we got 2 years ago. It's really got legs and it's making a difference in our community. They provide indoor AEDs, and they collaborated with the Johnson County Ambulance Service to provide combination locked AEDs for 24/7 access in public locations around Johnson County. And they've got a large committee. I want to thank their leadership, Jim Merchant, Linda Kerber, Diane Atkins, Pastor Mark Priest, and Bill Bywater. So thank you for your efforts there. And we got a recent testimonial. They provide AEDs to nonprofits at a discount. And a recent testimonial just this week. Thank you so much for training our faculty and staff on how to use our newly acquired AED device. We can all rest a little easier knowing this device is present, and there are individuals in our building that know how to use it. We commend Rotary for being good stewards of the community by providing this life-saving training. And I think we all heard in the media, there were 2 people who went into cardiac arrest last year at Kinnick, 1 at Carver Hawkeye. So what we're doing is definitely going to save lives in the community, something we can all be proud of. And then I see Ron Edinger. Ron, where are you at? Back, yep. Ron helped us coordinate our dictionary project. We work with the other Rotary clubs, and we provide a dictionary to every 4th grader in our community. It's a great literacy project. And then Tom Cook wasn't able to be here, but Tom Cook leads our Reg for Clubfoot program, and that promotes the Ponseti method of treating clubfoot through awareness programs, races for children, and training doctors around the world. In our For the Families of Ronald McDonald House Golf outing, I want to thank Heather Krosky, who was up here a second ago, and Brad Baldus. That's a collaboration we've been doing with the Ronald McDonald House, I think for, Heather's been 20 years now. 20 years, yep. And okay. And lifetime, did we exceed $1 million? We're knocking on the door, we're close to $1 million raised. So make sure you're sharing that in the community, that with the partnership of our club and Ronald McDonald, we've raised almost $1 million to support families. We have a new early childhood literacy program that Ray Mustin and Missy Forbes, Missy, I saw you here somewhere, yep, are coordinating. We have a Music in the Park program that Usha Balakrishan is leading. I don't know that Gary Pacia is here, but Gary is really our coordinator for a lot of our international projects. We do Iowa Most, where they do cleft palate surgery overseas. We have FAMSCO, where they do emergency vehicles overseas. In Jacotepec, Mexico, we've adopted an orphanage there to help the community and their children. Recently this spring, we provided a scholarship for a University of Iowa student to study abroad. And we provided $500 grants to about 5 or 6 different nonprofit organizations. I want to thank Pete Wallace and his committee for their leadership there. Our club, with your donations, we made generous gifts to the Boy Scouts, the Girl Scouts, the 4-H, and Rotary District projects. We supported 3 local Rotary Interact clubs. So give yourself a round of applause. It's a pretty healthy year there. And even more impressive to me, I went back and looked at the calendar. Our Rotary Club, the last year, we were on Zoom for 7 months, so we were only in person 5 months, but we were still able to do a lot of heavy lifting and accomplish a lot of things. So my last part, kind of ingratitude. Most Rotary clubs our size have a paid part-time executive. We don't do that. We choose to, instead of paying someone, we win all of our money to go out in the community, support nonprofits. So our club is 100% volunteer run, which is really unique for a large club. And as they always say, it takes a village to run it. And I want to thank a few people. We've got a wonderful Rotary Board of Directors. And when I announce your name, I'd like to ask you to stand real quick. I don't know, Aaron Schaefer, Anna Moyer Stone. Yep, Anna's here, yes. Barb Thomas, I know Barb is in Colorado with her sister today. Devin Van Holstein. Kelly Drown, I know Kelly's here. Madeline Windauer. Ryan Bell. Sean McIntyre. Steve West, I know he's out of the country today, and then Tara Manetto. So big round of applause for our board of directors. And we are welcoming 3 brand new board members to the board. I'd like to invite them to stand. Margaret Reese. Margaret is actually she will be in a few minutes, our president-elect. So your year, are you 23, 24? I think I got that right. Yep, 23, 24 year. So thank you, Margaret. Christy Felberg. Christy, yep. And John Snyder. So round of applause for our 3 new board members. And I'll have to tell you, when I was a member, it was easy to come and relax and network and good conversation and eat the food. And there's so many folks behind the scenes that are doing lifting that people don't see that I wanted to recognize. Nancy Droll has for years been taking our weekly attendance. So Nancy, you want to wave? Thank you, Nancy. And then our Sergeant at Arms, Vern Folkman and Kelly Drown. They both arrived here early to set up the registration and name tag table. And then after we've all gone home, they're staying here late, putting everything away. So round of applause for Vern and Kelly. And Kelly's needing to step away from the Sergeant at Arms role. Vern would love to have another helper. So if you're interested, let myself or Vern know. Special thanks to our AV team. We had to purchase technology and we had to learn how to do the hybrid meetings and the Zoom. And I want a big pat on the back to the AV folks, Devin, Ed Cranston, who I know is here on Zoom today, Barb Thomas and Ryan Bell. So a round of applause for our AV team. Special thank you to our treasurer, Madeline, if you want to wave again. Madeline does all our financials. Thank you, Madeline. I want to thank our board secretary, Kelly Drown, for taking our Rotary board minutes. I know I always say for boards I'm on, the two roles I never want to do are treasurer or secretary. So thank you guys both for stepping up to do that. I want to thank our Rotary Foundation chairs. They helped promote the foundation throughout this past year, and with your generous donations, we're approaching $40,000 worth of donations from our club to the Rotary Foundation. So I want to thank Vern Folkman and Aaron Schaefer for their leadership there. I want to thank our, round of applause there. I want to thank our membership secretary, Sean McIntyre. If you want to wave real quick, Sean. Yep. When you join our club and get the membership packet and your name tag, Sean helps process all that information. So thank you, Sean. I want to thank our orientation committee, Ann Parker. Are you here, Ann? She's not here, but Ann and her committee do great work orienting our new members. I want to thank our weekly greeters, Dave Seibert. Dave, wave real quick. Yep, Dave and his committee. I want to thank our weekly note takers, Tara Minetos helps coordinate that. I want to thank our venue committee who work with the Highlander, help plan our menu and other logistics. Greg Black and Steve Bowers did that role. Our weekly newsletter editors were John Brown and Janice Baldus. Our Rotary program chair who organizes the weekly programs, Devin again. Thank you, Devin. Yep. So I just want to thank everyone. And if I overlooked anything, you see our club really has a wide depth of what we do with programs and volunteers. So if I overlook anyone, I apologize. You can let me know afterwards. Hopefully we got 99% of it covered. So we're going to do some Rotary awards now. I want to invite Ryan Bell to come forward. And our outgoing board members, we have Barb Thomas. I mentioned she's with her sister in Colorado. Barb did a great job as past president, providing guidance for both Ryan and I and leadership. And it's great that she stayed involved too, because it's a lot being Rotary president. It's easy to kind of step back in the shadows, and she was still there in the spotlight supporting our board and Ryan and I. So special thank you to Barb. And Steve West joined our board about halfway through last year, and just with his experience as a community and business leader, his wisdom and guidance was helpful. And Anna Moyer Stone, if you want to come forward, you're the one of our outgoing board members who's here. And a little bit of background on Anna, you've been on the board for 6 wonderful years. You were our former board secretary taking notes for us. So yes, you bring a lot of good humor to our board meetings. I always like your nonverbals that you do on the Zoom. And Anna loves ranch dressing. So did they have that out there? So, yeah. So Anna, we have a special gift for you. And Ryan Bell has gotten into woodworking and a talented woodworker. And Ryan, do you want to explain what this is?
So these are locally sourced hardwoods from out in Tiffin. Coffin Hardwoods is located out there. And it's kind of the scrap piece of the wood that he typically makes nice 2x4s and big lumber. And I buy these from him to make charcuterie boards. So there's all food grade oil, kind of finishes it off and makes it shiny. And then to make these ones a little special, I went on the World Wide Web, as they call it, and found a Rotary brand. And how cool is it to just heat something up? I bought a torch too, which, you got to have a torch to work the brand. So I had to mess around with these quite a bit to kind of get it figured out. But hopefully this is something you can serve some delicious meats and cheeses off of, and some nuts and all that good stuff to go along, and some ranch dressing to dip it into.
Yep. Oh, yep. Do you want to say a few words, Anna? Yeah.
No, I don't need to say a few words, but I am going to pass this around because it is obviously you can tell it's Ryan Bell's reason to use a torch. But this is like really amazing. So I'm gonna like, pass around so you can all see it. And that's it. Thanks.
Yep, thank you, Anna. And we have a few more awards. We've identified 3 Rotarians who've really gone above and beyond this past year that we wanted to recognize. And the first one is Devin. Devin, I always tease you about kind of being a jack of all trades. You're our program chair. You help with our weekly programs. You help lead up our AV team with the hybrid meetings and Zoom. You're on the music committee. You play piano and other instruments. And really what I appreciate during our board meetings, sometimes we get off in the weeds a little bit, and you're really great with kind of bringing us back, okay, summarizing what we said. We need to move on a little bit when we get out there. So we appreciate all you do, Devin, and we've got a plaque for you here too. So round of applause for Devin, please. Thanks, Devin. Appreciate it. Yep. Our next award goes to Madeline Windauer, our treasurer. And Madeline has a background in accounting. She really got our kind of financials. She set up a lot of good policies and procedures we didn't have before, handles our club finances, really timely with writing checks, processing information. So Madeline, we have a plaque for you as well. And our final one is here, but he is here on Zoom, Ed Cranston. Ed really stepped up when we needed more help on the AV team and took the time and effort to learn the hybrid system in the Zoom. So I don't know if probably can't bring him up to see him, but a round of applause for Ed Cranston. All right. So the next time we see Ed Cranston in person, Steve West and Barb Thomas will have these nice plaques for them here. So what's that? Oh, yeah. And now we're ready to do the gavel passing here. I have a few things to leave for Ryan. I teased him about the key to the car, and he wondered if we had a Rotary themed car to drive around town. This is to our Rotary PO box that we have at the post office. Madeline does a wonderful job of checking it, so I really have to go, but PO box, were you there? And then there's a Rotary necklace that's been passed down from president to president. I teased Ryan that I lost it at my house. I didn't lose it at my house, but I think I've got it tangled up here. But there's that for you, the Rotary necklace. And I'm really excited for the future of our club. Ryan will take it in a great direction. And we've got Margaret Reese following Ryan. So really excited to see Ryan's leadership and where he takes our club. And with that, I want to officially pass the gavel to Ryan. Yes, yep.
Thank you. Thank you. We don't have much time. Thank you, everybody. It's a huge honor. It's really exciting. I've looked forward to this day for several years now. It's weird that it's here. And, for the last 2 years, especially, I think time has really flown for everybody. So it's exciting to be here. Rotary's at an exciting point. It's a challenging but exciting time, I think, to be a Rotarian. And really, there's no better leader to be following in the footsteps of than Eric. He's had a tumultuous year. It's been a lot of challenges, but nobody in the audience probably really knows that because he's done such a good job of absorbing it all and handling it with a lot of dignity. So, Eric, I've got an award for you as well. You the pie in the face. No, we voted against that. But thank you for the gavel. Here is your own gavel to hang on your office wall and remember the year of heartburn and challenge and stress, but also he did a lot of good for our club, guys. So give him another hand, please. So the other thing, again, it's a big deal to lead this club. As Ray Mustin told me recently, this club is a big deal. We've got a lot of history. We've done a lot of awesome things in our over 100 years of existence. And there's a lot more great things to come. So Some of my challenge is to harness all of this power in the room and, build a great year out of it for Rotary. And I think we can all do that together. All the pieces of the puzzle are here. And when I mention it's an exciting time for Rotary, there is a female who is our international president for the first time ever this year. And she's an absolute rock star. If you guys, everybody here have hopefully gotten their Rotarian magazine, awesome article about her. She's as real and down to earth as they come. She's a Canadian, so you gotta love that. And it's cool to be aligned with that level of history. Rotary doesn't have a great history when it comes to women's involvement. In fact, it took a Supreme Court case in the 80s to allow our better halves into the club. So I can guarantee we're all a better, more powerful, more organized, everything's better because of that type of involvement. Another thing I'm super excited about, like this seriously gave me butterflies in my stomach. So you guys know that each incoming Rotary International president chooses a theme, right? This one was, should have it memorized, right? But Eric's theme, serve to change lives. Always an important thing to remember. My theme, and I'll tell you why I got goosebumps here in a second, is imagine Rotary. And as goofy as this sounds, when I was in my 20s, I got a tattoo on my back, and it wasn't a real planned out thing. My brother and I, my younger brother and I said, yeah, let's go get tattoos. And I decided to put the name of my favorite song on my back. And Imagine is maybe the best song in history. I'm a little bit biased, but let's just take a look at some of these lyrics and how they relate to Rotary. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, all you guests, and the world will be as one. Perfection right there. Thank you, John Lennon and Yoko. She had a big part in writing that song too. So really our year going forward, I'm gonna wrap this up because it's almost 1 o'clock, is thinking and imagining what Rotary can do, how everybody in here can be a part of it. We've all gotta lift and carry this ship forward. We all need to recruit members, bring guests, do all the stuff, but look at where we are. It's exciting. We're in a great venue. We're really one of the classic new venues in Iowa City. How was lunch today? Everybody good? So we're at an exciting time. We've got some challenges ahead, but we're going to get through them. And I'm going to do my best to help with the help of our awesome board and all of you too. So thank you very much for this honor. Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay. Woo! Thank you very much. This is awesome. So we're going to end the meeting like we always do. First, we're going to donate $10 on Eric's behalf to fight polio. And as you all know, that gets doubled or tripled by the Gates Foundation. So thank you for your time again, Eric. And we'll finish the meeting like we always do with the 4-way test of the things we think, say, and do. Is it fair to all concerned?
Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
It works. Thank you all. See you all next week.
Bye-bye.